Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to the Operation Freedom platform and our ongoing nutritional and wellness series with the great Dr. Peter Glidden. Our goal is to provide you information that you're not going to get from any other source or any other platform. As a MD, a physician with an MD degree, I can tell you that information that Peter provides every other week on this platform, I never received throughout my medical school training, my residency, or my fellowship. It's information that I believe is critical to your well-being. It's information that the big pharmaceutical companies, the AMA, the insurance industry, have absolutely no interest in providing you. But we do, because it's about your health and your wellness. Now, for those of you not familiar with Dr. Peter Glidden, he is, in my mind, the top nutritional wellness expert and physician, not only in the country, but in the world. And a little background on Peter. He attended Williams College, received his Bachelor of Science degree in pre-medical studies from the University of Massachusetts. He then obtained his doctorate in naturopathic medicine at the great Bastyr University in Seattle, Washington. Presently, he is in private practice of naturopathic medicine and has been licensed to practice naturopathic medicine since 1992. Peter is an outstanding clinician. And one way you can have a little indication of that is if you read some of the comments from some of our previous videos. We do these every other week. They're present on our platform on OperationFreedomHealth.com. They're present here on our Operation Freedom YouTube channel. I also have them all together in one source. If you go to DaveJanda.com, they're all there. But if you look at the comments from some of Peter's patients and former patients, they speak about how they came to him with a condition that had been either undiagnosed by their internal medicine doctor or was diagnosed incorrectly, and they came to Peter, and, well, Peter sat down with them, listened to the patient, spoke to the patient, and then instituted a plan from a naturopathic standpoint, which rectified that individual's issues. Now, in addition to his great clinical skills, he's a phenomenal author. I encourage you to get his books. They're outstanding. You can get them on Amazon. Everybody is sick, and I know why, and Attempt a Cure with Holistic Medicine. Peter, welcome back to the Operation Freedom platform, and today we're going to discuss the nutritional foundation of men's health.
Men's health. Wow, let's go. I'm all in.
Go for it.
Being a man.
I will attest to that as well, but at times, Peter, that can be politically incorrect, about.
Yeah, I know. Am I really a man? Or maybe what if I wake up tomorrow and decide I want to be a woman? What's up with that?
Well, we won't go there with this particular presentation. Let's talk about the foundation of men's health.
Okay, so the foundation of men's health is built upon the foundation of human health. So the foundation of human health is as follows. You have to stop eating food that's gumming up the works. You need to fill the body's nutritional tank up with the 90 essential nutrients that it needs. And remember, a nutrient is deemed essential if the body needs it but cannot make it. Essential nutrients have to be ingested. And historically, the thought process behind that was, well, you can get the essential nutrients you need, the minerals and the vitamins and the amino acids, essential fats, from eating food. Mm-hmm. And that's a medical myth, which, in my opinion, has been responsible for more death and suffering than all world wars combined, because you simply can't do it. You can't do it. It's impossible. You could own 100 acres of the most organic land on planet Earth and only eat the stuff that you grew,
right,
and you'd still be deficient in essential nutrients. So, and it's getting worse with time because of industrialized agricultural methods, the way that farmers grow their crops. The crops are less infiltrated with nutrients.
Mm-hmm. So, and with all the herbicides, pesticides, all play a role in all this.
It's a great big bad voodoo daddy. So not enough essential nutrients in the food anyway, and the way that the food's been grown in the last 100 years makes the food less and less rich in essential nutrients. So this leads to the alarming conclusion And this was a eureka moment for me when I figured this out. Everybody on planet Earth is nutritionally deficient. Even if they're eating 3 square meals a day, even if they're a multimillionaire and have access to everything that they ever wanted, everybody is nutritionally deficient because the nutrients that the body needs are not all present in the food. You must fill the body's nutritional tank up with nutritional supplements. It's mandatory, right? Nobody gets a pass on that. And also, you got to stop eating food that's bad for the human body. So when you do these two things, stop the bad food and fill the body's nutritional tank up with the 90 essential nutrients, that's the foundation of health for everybody. Child, man, woman, doesn't matter. Okay? Even animals, for goodness sake. Dr. Wallach's research, which is the foundation of the foundation,
right,
when implemented in the veterinarian community, doubled the life expectancy of the average household dog. Doubled it. Right? Just from giving nutrients. That was all that was done. So, leads to one of life's greatest ironies, as far as I'm concerned. Most people's dogs and cats are more nutrified than they are. I mean, just go to the store and look at a bag of dog food and read all of the nutrients that are in it. I mean, it's unbelievable how many nutrients are in the dog food. Right? But not in human food. And there's a gigantic disconnect there. So in any event, we have to fill the nutritional tank up. And we do that with the Healthy Start Pack. Now, when we eliminate the 12 bad foods. Now, once we've done that, right, now we're in the game and the body's nutritional tank is filled up. The body's firing on all cylinders. And that's a really great thing. Then as you go down the road of life, you're going to be subject to different stresses. Right?
Correct.
And if you're a man or a woman, stresses will impact the body differently, and different environmental stresses, we've talked about that. Emotional, psychological stresses, all these things play a part. So when it comes to men's health specifically, really what we focus on with men's health is the prostate, right? And hormone regulation. The prostate is extremely important for overall men's health. And one of the biggest blows against men as they get older is prostate hypertrophy, swelling of the prostate, and then prostate cancer, right?
Correct.
And that is a big bad voodoo daddy. And look, when your hormones are not right, you're not right. I just don't care. Your hormones aren't right, you're not right. If I was an evil genius and I wanted to hurt humanity, I would put something into the water that messed with hormones, because hormones impact everything. I mean, they impact everything.
Got it.
So now here's an interesting little fun fact to know and tell, which every medical doctor, general practice medical doctor, should have told every man in their practice. And this is probably the first time members of your listening audience are going to be aware of this. According to Harvard University, supplementation with the trace mineral selenium, which is one of our go-tos for men's health, decreases the chance of prostate cancer by 49%.
It's huge.
49%.
It's huge.
It's huge. And that was just one little nutrient, selenium, that nobody ever does a study where they look at the 90 essential nutrients plus selenium, right?
Right.
Or plus omega-3 essential fatty acids or whatever. It's fractionated nutrition. But even inside of the fractionated nutrition model, selenium supplementation, gigantic positive effects for the prostate, which have gigantic positive effects across the board for men. It's really, I mean, it's a remarkable thing, and it's extremely inexpensive.
So when we look at the foundational, the nutritional foundation components of men's health, one, overall foundation, avoidance of the 12 bad foods. Now, folks want more information on that, OperationFreedomHealth.com. We have it right at the very top of the page, access to that video. Second, the 90 essential nutrients. That we also have available on OperationFreedomHealth.com. Full disclosure, purchase of the products on Operation Freedom Health gets you a lot of benefits, and that actually pop-up will come up when you get to the site. But it also, purchasing through OperationFreedomHealth.com does benefit this platform. The 90 essential nutrients, Peter, can be obtained through the Healthy Body Start Pack. And
Absolutely, positively.
That's right. And you have found that to be the best way to get the 90 nutrients of all the, at your fingertips, you have access to all these products that none of us have access to because you're a naturopathic physician licensed. The one you would recommend for the 90 for the 90 nutrients is the Healthy Body Start Pack.
Hands down, absolutely. It's the most effective recipe put together in a way that makes it extremely absorbable. It's the most effective medical nutrition supplement I've seen in 31 years of clinical work.
And then we add to that from the men's health side, selenium, which, as you stated, through a Harvard study shows a 49% reduction in prostate cancer with the utilization of selenium.
And that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick.
Well, it sure does. And then the icing. So that's the next thing to do here. And then I would recommend everybody take the 90. So if you're 60 years of age of older, I could even say you start at 50. You should take the 90 essential nutrients. There's selenium in there, but I would take a little extra selenium, one extra bottle of selenium a month. That's what I do. That's what I do.
One capsule 3 times a day. Well, that makes you the smartest man in the room.
No,
right?
No, it doesn't. And my wife will attest to that. But go ahead.
And then for a couple of months, once a year, 2 or 3 months, once a year, if you're a man, 50 years or older, get 2 bottles of the Good Herbs Prostate Health. 2 bottles of the Good Herbs Prostate Health for 2 months, once a year. And do 4 milliliters twice a day. 4 milliliters twice a day for 2 months of the Good Herbs Prostate Health. You know, that's like, I mean, I don't really know what a good metaphor would be here, but that's like taking the car in for a car wash. It's a really good idea. You don't need to do the car wash every day, but every once in a while the car needs a wash, right? So every once in a while, your prostate, if you're a man and over 50, needs a little extra help. The stuff that's in the Good Herbs formulations is beholden to none. And I am as serious as a heart attack when I say that. And you think about it like this. You know, nobody really thinks about this or has a big knowledge base about the formulation of a botanical medicine. But there's a lot of steps involved, right?
Oh, sure, very much so.
First, you have to harvest the plant, but before you harvest it, you have to find it. Mm-hmm. So where are you going to find it? You're going to find it in somebody's greenhouse. You're going to find it in somebody's field where they're spraying pesticides on it. Or you're going to find it in nature. You're going to wildcraft it. The research clearly shows, and it's not even close, that wildcrafted herbs are much more packed with the nutrients and the phytochemicals that the body needs in order to make that stuff work. And if we want to get a little metaphysical here, there's a very interesting relationship between the human body and Mother Nature. And so when you supply the human body with a medicinal agent or a therapeutic agent made from a plant, then there's a lot of leverage there. There's a lot of chance for there's a lot of greatness that's involved there. But there are a lot of variables in the manufacture of the product. So wildcrafted or not, well, guess what? Good Herbs stuff is wildcrafted. And then you have to know when to harvest it. Mm-hmm. Well, am I going to harvest it before it flowers? Am I going to harvest after it flowers? Well, when am I going to do that? Once I harvest it, what am I going to do with it? Am I only going to use the flower of the plant? Am I only going to use the roots? Am I going to use the whole plant? What am I going to do? Well, Good Herbs uses the whole plant. Most people don't do that. Mm-hmm. Most people chop it up thinking that they're smarter than God, they're smarter than nature. This is what if 99% of the herbal products you get at the health food store, they've done that. They've chopped the plant up, they've concentrated one aspect of the phytochemical that's in the plant because they think that that's the best one. They're full of crap, and it's an inferior product. And then, all right, so now we have the whole plant, and what are we going to do with it? Mm-hmm. Are we going to dry it and chop it up into a powder and put it in a capsule? Are we going to manufacture it with through an alcohol extract? Are we going to dry it into a powder and put water on it and make it into a tea? What are we going to do? Well, as it comes down to it, the single best way to extract all of the nutrients from the plant is with an alcohol extract. Mm-hmm. Okay, but wait a minute. Well, what proof alcohol are we going to use?
Right.
Is it going to be 100 proof, 150 proof, 200 proof? Most companies use 100 proof. Why? Because it's inexpensive. Good Herbs uses 200 proof alcohol. And that stuff is expensive, number one. Okay, and now we've got the 200 proof alcohol. We've got the whole plant. How long are we going to soak the plant in the alcohol? And what's the ambient temperature going to be when we do that? Mm-hmm. Well, most companies, they want it to rapid turnaround, right?
True.
Because you know, they don't want to have a million units on the shelf. Maybe someone will buy it, maybe they won't.
Yeah, right.
So most manufacturers, they leave the herb soaking in the 100 proof alcohol for 1 week. Good Herbs, it's longer than that, and I've been sworn to secrecy because the formulations that Good Herbs use, right, for the amount of time that they use the plant mm-hmm. soaking in the alcohol at what temperature, that's a secret. It's a professional secret, and those parameters were determined by decades of research from botanical medicine experts all around the world. All right, so now we've got a formula, right? We've got an extract of this one plant that we did just the right way. Well, what are we going to use in the actual formula? In this case, prostate health. What are we going to put in it? Which herbs are we going to put in it, and mm-hmm. in which concentrations? Right? Mm-hmm. Those determinations were discovered again by decades of clinical research by botanical medicine experts around the world and their proprietary trade secrets. So I'm telling you, when it comes to a botanical medicine that you can get over, there's only one other company that I know of in the entire world that does as good a job as Good Herbs does in the whole manufacture process, but you can't get their stuff as a layperson. You can only get their stuff as a doctor. The Good Herbs stuff available through Longevity is like, I mean, it's not even like the Lamborghini, because that's just a poor metaphor. Whatever would be above the Lamborghini, mm-hmm. that's what the Good Herbs are. And so if you use, in this case, the Good Herbs prostate support mm-hmm. for a couple of months a year, on top of the 90 essential nutrients, selenium, man, I mean, that's just a home run.
And with the foundation, the Healthy Body Start Pack. The Good Herbs products are also available on OperationFreedomHealth.com. Peter, you stressed the importance of diet, and a question came up from an individual who knew we were going to speak about today, and they mentioned the effect of a diet on testosterone. Obviously, a key player in men's health. You have an interesting clinical experience with that, because many people say, you know, you hear in some of the lay literature, kids that have too much exposure to soy, they call them soy boys, as being a bit
effeminate.
And some people, and there are people say, well, you know, that's kind of that's kind of a that's urban legend. That's just not accurate. Educate all of us on soy's effect and your clinical experience, because it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? So, and this subject underlines a bigger subject, which is the intimate relationship that food has with human health. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody knows you should eat, and if you don't eat regularly, you lose weight and you feel bad and whatever. But it's a lot deeper than that, because depending on what food you eat and how much of it you eat, it can have a direct impact on different organ systems in the body and mess you up or make you stronger. Mm-hmm. So, soy products contain a biochemical a naturally occurring phytochemical. So chemicals that are found in plants are called phytochemicals, all right? To make them separate and distinct from other chemical classifications, like, for instance, synthetic chemicals. So in soy, there's a phytochemical called phytoestrogen. And it is a chemical which is really, really close in molecular structure to human, I think it's estriol. And by the way, there's no such thing as estrogen. Estrogen is made up of 3 different molecules. It's estriol, estrone, and estradiol, right? There are 3 different things. Collectively, it's referred to. These are estrogen, right? Estrogens, right?
Yes.
So soy has a phytochemical which resembles one of the estrogens. And if you consume a lot of soy, it's going to upregulate the estrogen levels in your body. And when it comes to hormones, it's all about the balance. So even if you have adequate amounts of testosterone in your body and you're a man, if you eat too much soy, you're going to upset the balance in the apple cart, and now there's going to be too much, by way of comparison, estrogen in the body, and that's going to mess you up. So long story short, I was treating a 5-year-old boy. This was about 20 years ago. And his parents were members of Seventh-day Adventists, which are vegetarians, right? They're really kind of strict vegetarians, and good for them. So they brought the kid into me. He had breasts. He was a 5-year-old boy, and he had breasts. And so what the hell is up with that? They'd taken him to specialists at a children's hospital in Boston. They wanted to do expensive gene testing, and this was 20 years ago. Right. You can imagine how expensive it was then, right? So the parents didn't want to do that. They came to me for a second opinion, and in my intake, I ask, which I always ask, what does the child eat? Well, as it turns out, soy for breakfast, soy for lunch, soy for dinner, soy for snacks. All the kid ate every day, and the majority of the food that was going down this kid's throat, was something that had soy in it. Now, think it through. If you put this much soy into a 5-year-old body,
right,
it's like putting this much soy into an adult, right? So the only problem with this kid was that he was eating soy all the time, and his estrogen levels were off the charts, not because he had a bad gene, not because he had any internal problem, but because he was loading his body with phytoestrogens every day, and nobody knew it. So all we did was change his diet, and I'm making numbers up. It was like 6 months later, I think, back to normal, no more breasts, and he was a normal, healthy little boy. It was remarkable. Now, there's one more thing that we should add into this equation, and it's a nice little segue when we're talking about diet. All sex hormones in the human body. And now remember, the human body has wisdom. The human body, if it's nutrified properly and everything's working, firing on all cylinders, the human body knows how much testosterone it needs at different ages. It knows how many different estrogens you need at different ages and progesterones. It knows everything. The body sorts all this stuff out all the time. But the body needs raw materials to make hormones. And all hormones, all sex hormones, are made from, wait for it, cholesterol.
Boom.
They're made from cholesterol. So if you're on a statin drug or a fat-free diet because someone in the medical community told you needed to lower your cholesterol levels, you're going to be having trouble with hormone balances throughout your life. And by the way, there's no relationship between high cholesterol and heart disease. I've lectured about this extensively.
And we've spoken about it on another presentation on this platform as well.
A number of, very distinguished medical authors, MDs, conventional medical people have written books outlining all of the research. And this is an academic fact that the people that make the statin drugs would rather you didn't know, that your body needs cholesterol, and there's no relationship between high cholesterol and heart disease. So, in an interesting little fun fact to know and tell, if you're a man and you want to upregulate your health throughout your life, then you need to seriously consider stopping your statin drugs. You need to seriously consider stopping your statin drugs. Educate yourself about it. Take the leap. As far as I'm concerned, nobody needs to be on a statin drugs. The net negative effects of the statin drugs far outweigh the positive benefits. And eat a diet high in cholesterol. And Time Magazine, like 2 years ago, just look it up. They did a really remarkable. I couldn't believe this was in Time Magazine because it was so spot on. They did a whole article on butter. They had a big stick of butter on
I remember.
the front cover.
Yep.
And they talked about the relationship between the people that made Crisco, right,
Mm-hmm.
which is a really bad stuff, and the American Heart Association. And that Crisco made a deal, the manufacturers of Crisco made a deal with the American Heart Association, convincing doctors to tell women, and this was in the 50s, that butter wasn't any good and they needed to replace it with Crisco. And thus was born heart disease. And it's unbelievable to me that nobody went to jail because of that. And the person that was behind that was Ansel Keys. He was the guy that made K rations. Mm-hmm. He was also the guy behind the ridiculous notion of the Mediterranean diet. And it was just big, bad voodoo daddy stuff. But the myth has persisted over the decades now that cholesterol is the Antichrist and you need to drive cholesterol into the ditch. Well, guess what? No, you don't. You need to have healthy cholesterol levels. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're a man, I want to see your cholesterol be between 250 and 300. And if you're a postmenopausal white woman, I want to see your total cholesterol be over 300. Which is exactly the opposite of what any medical doctor will tell you. They want it all under 100. Let me tell you something. If you have the cholesterol that's low, your hormones are going to be messed up. Your brain's going to dry up. It's not going. Your life is going to suck. Not because there's anything wrong with you, but because your body just ran out of an extremely essential, well, cholesterol, the body can make cholesterol, so it's not an essential nutrient. But if you don't have enough, you're going to suffer. And, so we need to just rethink everything here, man. Just rethink everything.
And our listeners, if they are on statins, they should go to their treating physician and talk to them about this, about what you just said.
Yeah, absolutely. They should say, look, and even just do a look. There's a one really good reference for this is there's a Russian doctor named Ravenskov, Ravnskov, Ravenskov. Do a Google search for Ravenskov cholesterol, and you'll find everything that he's written about it. And as far as I'm concerned, he's like the Albert Einstein of the whole cholesterol thing. And so
get that information and bring it to your treating physician.
Yeah, and have a conversation with them.
Yep.
And see what they say. And my recommendation, the faster you can get off a statin drug, the better your life is going to be.
Peter, I'd like to thank you for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. The action plan for the Nutritional Foundation of Men's Health, get off those 12 bad foods. That video is available on OperationFreedomHealth.com. Healthy Body Start Pack for the 90 Essential Nutrients. That's available on OperationFreedomHealth.com. Get a bottle of selenium.
And the Good Herbs Prostate Health. Bottles.
And that's all available as well on OperationFreedomHealth.com. Peter, again, thank you for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. Until next time, folks, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Get that article Peter mentioned about cholesterol and bring it to your treating physician if you are on statins. Take care.